Okay. Shh. Okay, we have to move on. Okay, we're up to the dinim of reading the Megillah. We said that the main Megillah reading halachically is during the day, even though both equally you have to listen to the Megillah both at night and during the day. Now, who's obligated to hear the Megillah? Men, women, children. Even kids under bar and bas mitzvah are obligated to come to shul to listen to the Megillah. But it says if they're going to make a lot of noise and disturb the adults, then they shouldn't come to shul. Or they should have their... There's going to be an 8:15 Megillah reading for kids, only kids, with food afterwards, for kids.
Kids or adults that want to be with their kids?
Yeah, only adults that want to be with the kids, not adults that are acting like kids. Because then we'll have the whole show down there. Okay, next.
This is tolerating it.
Now, you can't... The night Megillah, you're not allowed to read before nightfall, and you can read it b'diavad all the way until dawn. Okay? But halachically, you're supposed to read it as soon as possible. So, the reading of Megillah, this year is Saturday night. So after Shabbos is over, you daven ma'ariv, we learned what we discussed already what to do, and then we read the Megillah. So the Chazan says the 3 brachas before reading the Megillah, and then everybody has to listen to every single word of the Megillah. If you miss the word, you're not fulfilling your obligation, you have to hear it again. Now what happens, especially this can happen when they bang Haman, there's noise, sometimes you can miss a word or two. So the din is, if you're listening to the Megillah, and you miss a word or two, you could read from the printed text. Okay? If you have a Chumash or a Megillah book, you could read it, but you have to quickly catch up to where the person is reading. Because if you miss the word and the Barari, the guy reading, is further, and you just say the word you missed, then you're reading the Megillah out of sequence. The Megillah must be read in sequence. If you read a later pasuk before an earlier pasuk, so then you're not yet in the midst of Megillah. So even though you're reading it from a printed text, up to half the Megillah, you could do that. So if you miss words, you catch up with the words and quickly say them and catch up to the Barari and then catch up to the word where he is saying, and then you're yet to the Megillah.
But if you can't catch up,
if you can't catch up, then you're going to have to listen to another Megillah reading. No, I'm serious.
And then again, you're going to
okay.
Some of these Barari is reading so fast, it's almost impossible to hear them.
The Megillah, you could... The trap of the Megillah is, you can't read it that fast. If you're saying with the trap, you're just reading the words, a different story.
But Chabad known for being the fastest readers.
They pay them more to read faster. They don't read
read it 12
I read
times.
slow one time, they don't read higher than me.
Because we read it 12 times on Purim. If each one would be an hour, we would be,
It's competition.
Okay. Now ideally, it's best to listen to Megillah in a shul where there's a public place, because the rule of what's called Reiv Am Hadras Melech. When you have a lot of people, it's the beauty of the king. So therefore, you're supposed to be, even though technically you can do it in your house by yourself, but it's still preferred to do it with a minyan in a shul where there's more people. Now, what happens if not? Then you read it yourself. There's also a custom that our custom is that everybody who has a kosher Megillah does it. But in certain places, only the Barari does it. And that is, we fold the Megillah into 3 parts. Why do we fold the Megillah into 3 parts? Because the Megillah is called, in the Megillah, Igeres HaPurim Azais. In fact, it says it twice. Igeres HaPurim, it's a letter. It's called a letter. And the way they used to read letters was like this. When it was a big piece of parchment, they would read it, fold it like this. So it doesn't matter if somebody didn't, they're still 100% yetz to the mitzvah. But the custom is to do it like that. And our custom is that the listeners also do it. Some places only the reader does it. Our custom is even the listeners do it. Now when you listen to the brachas on the Megillah, the 3 brachas, you do not answer Baruch Hu V'Rosh Shmei. Anytime you have to be Yaitza, a bracha, whether it's Shofar, Megillah, Kiddush, no matter what it is, you're not allowed to say Baruch Hu V'Rosh Shmei. if somebody by mistake said Baruch Hu V'Roch Shmai by the bracha, so according to the Alter Rebbe, you're probably not Yaitze the bracha. They say the Chasam Sofer held that because in the Chasam Sofer shul they did it and he didn't protest, that the Chasam Sofer held that b'diavad it's good. But the Alter Rebbe in Shulchan Aruch says it comes out that b'diavad also not good. So when you hear the brachas, you just answer Amen, you do not say Baruch Hu V'Roch Shmei. You're not allowed to talk from the beginning to the Megillah to the end of the Megillah because you have to hear what the guy is saying. Now there's an interesting question, by the way. What happens if a guy, let's say, is in a shul of non-religious people? Can a guy read a chapter, then tell over what's going to happen in the next chapter, and then read the chapter, and then do the next chapter's 10 chapters? Can he do it like that? So b'diavad he could. It's not the best thing to do. But you're talking things about the Megillah. You're not making a hefsek about things not pertaining to the Megillah. In certain places where the people are non-religious, so there's 10 chapters in the Megillah, right? So the guy will read one chapter in the kosher Megillah, and then he'll make a speech for 2 minutes telling people what's in the next chapter. Then another, So it's not the best thing to do, but if you have to, you could do it. Now, there's an interesting thing. What happens if somebody already heard the Megillah and he's reading it for men? So ideally is the men should, one man at least should make the bracha, not the reader because he already was yaitzer. But if possible, somebody else should make the bracha. But the other, if he makes the bracha, it's fine. But there's an interesting thing. It's a machlekes. What? 1 second. So what happens if you were yaitzer already and you're reading it for women? So if you look in the Siddur, the bracha is al mikra Megillah, and reading the Megillah. A lot of pasuk, not everybody agrees with it, but this is the most pasuk, and this is the way we hold also, that if you're reading for women and you already were yaitzer the Megillah, so they make the bracha not al mikra Megillah, they make the bracha shekichanabim says tzivanu lishmaya Megillah, to hear the Megillah. And the pasuk writes, why is that? Because the men are obligated to read the Megillah, and women are obligated to hear the Megillah. They bring proofs from various different places. So even though you made al mikra Megillah, you're yaitzer. I'm saying women, if they're making the bracha themselves, in fact, the halacha says, let's see, there's 5-10 women, each woman should make the bracha themselves. If not one did, it's fine also. What?
It's against the nature. Women should talk and women listen.
That's why the Megillah is v'napechu. The Megillah is the opposite. Here, the men talk and the women listen. You bring up a good point, but that's probably the answer.
What if somebody's Hebrew isn't good enough to read it?
And there's nobody else to read it for them.
No, but the mitzvah, the bracha you say is...
No, you have to, at least the words, because let's say a word has to be corrected if it changes the interpretation. Okay? You can have Haman Yashav and you read it Yoshev, which is past tense versus present tense, so then you change the meaning of the word. You say Haman Neifel al Hamita, and if you read Haman Nafal al Hamita, so it's again past tense. So then you have to, if you read Mordechai and Mordechai, it's not an issue, it's only a trup issue. If it's a safe pasuk, it's Mordechai. If it's a snachta, it's Mordechai. If not, it's Mordechai. I mean, this is just, like an S and ace. You have in Chumash, a lot of times, especially Vayakub and Kudei, you have S and ace. What's the difference? If there's a trup on the word, it's ace. If there's no trup on the word, it's connected to the other, then it's S. I mean, that's the... So halachically, it's not going to... What?
We say with regards to someone that's listening to the Megillah, they can read up to half. Does that work from a printed text? Does that work with regards to the Barari if he forgets the whole parak? Can he...
No, the Barari not. In fact, it says in Allah, interesting thing. What happens if Barari doesn't know he didn't learn it? So he has two options. Either somebody in Yiddish is called Farleinen, Farzogen. You know, we hear it, we have sign language, but a lot of places there's a guy next to the Balkari is telling him the trup, you know, where you quietly. Or that's one option for the Megillah. Or another option for Megillah is to put the trup into the Megillah. So the poskim write, it's better to put the trup in the Megillah, not in the Sefer Torah, but it's better to put the trup in the Megillah than have somebody sitting next to you reading the words from a Chumash of what to say. Huh?
Only trup or
Nekudas also. Sefer Torah you can, but Nekudas in a what?
What bracha would they? Somebody who can't read, who doesn't speak Hebrew.
So how are they yates of the Megillah?
I'm asking. So if they don't speak Hebrew, then they're still hearing it.
Oh no, then the guy that reads it says I'll make her Megillah.
And what bracha? And they just say amen.
Yeah, that's it. What?
Imagine if someone misses a word, they have to hear it again. They have to go back to the beginning of the hearing again, or just from the point where they missed it?
From the point where they missed it. But it depends, it's 10 hours later, no.
Yeah, but once I missed it at 8 o'clock, and then at 3 o'clock I have to wait.
No, then you have to do another one.
What's the share?
Huh?
Within half an hour? What's the...
It says, in one place it says the amount of time it takes to read the whole Megillah, another place that doesn't matter by Megillah.
Is it the time to take Chabad to read all Megillah or like?
I'm still, every Chabad lane reads quicker than everybody else. It's not true. Huh? They do. I'll tell you why. It takes longer. Because by everybody else, they bang by every Haman. We only bang by Haman where there's a title. So we bang maybe 6 times in the Megillah instead of 3,000. You know, every time there's a Haman, they bang. So it takes much longer. It takes much longer.